Mister, can you zoom in? Yes, it's okay.
The loan is in the process. The loan is in the process of being negotiated, and the bank has indicated that the finance cost will increase further. Furthermore, the directors have told that machine contract with the police expires on 2004. In the wake of government cuts, the police is trying to substantially reduce the amount they pay. It is thought that the contract will be put to tender, and it is possible that another aircraft provider may also bid for the contract. Machine holds around 2 million 2 million aircraft spares which have included with inventory. Is it right? Which have holds around 2 million of which are included within the inventory. This much amount of spares are there in the inventory. Machine sells aircraft spares to amateur flying associations. Amateur means not non-professionals. Okay, aircraft spares which are not sold after 3 years are scrapped. Approximately 1/4 of the value has been made up of specialist equipment taken out of aircraft when it was replaced by a newer or more advanced equipment. Such specialist equipment is transferred from non-current assets to inventory without adjustment and continues to recognize at a amortized cost. At a amortized cost. Okay, just what they are asking us, which of the specialist with in relation to specialist helicopter support contracts. They are focusing on what? They are focusing on contracts. Which of the following statements summarizes a key audit risk? Is it right? A key audit risk. Now, first one, they are talking about the market value of the aircraft. The second, we are talking about the terms of the aircraft. The third, they are talking about the revenue may be stated. They are talking about the expert value. Is it right? Focus on these things: market value, terms, revenue, and expert value. Is that what they say? Provides the support to public services, such as Machine has four of these contracts which are similar to value, owns and maintains helicopters. Each aircraft carries specialist. Under this contract, Machine charges customer an annual fee to cover the maintenance. Annual fee is nothing but what? Annual fee is nothing but for the company, it is revenue. The annual fee is payable in advance. The annual fee is payable in advance each year, with the first annual payment being paid on the date of the contract. Means they are paying in advance. They are paying means in the beginning. Is it? In the beginning of the year. Is it right? In the beginning of the year. Machine has not purchased anything. Is it right? Now, see the things. See what is there. They are saying that they are talking in terms of revenue. Is it? They are talking in terms of annual fee. Is it? They are talking in terms of annual fee. They are talking in terms of annual payments. Is it? They are focusing on the annual payment. It means that they are focusing on what? They are focusing on the related to first thing. They are focusing on the revenue. Now, what happens? What happens? What is the situation? Is it right? Which each aircraft carries specialist and operated by skill. Under this fine. Machine not purchase any new aircraft. However, there has been lot of refitting, replacement, specialist equipment to some of the existing aircraft. This has been necessary to keep the latest development in search and to maintain the aircraft to the high standard required under the contracts in place. Fine. See the things. Okay. This is related to what? Which question? It is related to question number 51. Okay. Now what happens? See the thing. Question number 51. Okay. Now what happens? They are taking at the beginning of the year. Is it right? They are taking the beginning of the year. Now when you take the beginning of the year, definitely what will happen? Definitely we are not in a position to judge the revenue. Is it right? We are not into position to judge in revenue. And when you take in the beginning of the year, actually what happens? The accounting rule says that it should be matching concept. Is that the accounting rule says that is a matching revenue with expenses. Now, if you take in advance, is it right? If they have taken in advance, where they have mentioned, if they have taken in advance each year, definitely what will happen subsequently? The expenses will increase. Again, you cannot say that we are going to. We will going to recover additional money. We have to tell them in contract that the amount has to be conditional. It will not change. Okay, so based on that, all the time they are talking about annual fee, annual payment. Okay, now anything related to machine assets could be undervalued if the market value of aircraft helicopter fleet exceeds its cost. We are not talking about market value. We are talking about anywhere in the market value of the aircrafts. See here what they are saying. They have not purchased any aircrafts. There has been a lot of refitting, latest developments. Fine. This is maintenance. The original purchase price of each aircraft is funded by secured loan. The loan is process of negotiations. Is it right? We are talking about the loan aspects, and the wake of government cuts, they maybe lose the contract also. Machine holds 2 million of spares. Is it right? 2 million of spares in inventory. Is it right? The aircraft spares to amateur flying associations. What is the audit risk? Is that what is the audit risk? That's where we have to focus. Is it what is the audit risk? When you are talking in terms of audit risk, is it focus on audit risk? When we take into consideration the revenue aspect, is that annual fee? Maybe the annual fee, is it that maybe the revenue is nothing but the annual fee for the company. Is it right? Revenue, maybe the annual fee is the annual fee, not maybe, is the annual fee for the. Either it will be understated, or it will be overstated. Is it right? Either it will happen in both the cases. Either it will be understated or it will be overstated. Is it right? Now what happens? In other words, it will be a material misstatement. Is it right? It will be a material misstatement. That is where we are talking about the things. We are not talking about anything about the fair value. What they are talking about what market value. We are not talking about in terms of machine could breach. We are not talking anything about. Is it right? We are not talking anything about we are not discussing anything about the market value. Is that? We are not talking anything. They are not breaching the contracts. Is it right? They are not breaching the contracts. We are not talking about anything about expert valuer to value the aircraft in the financial statements also. Is it right? We are talking very specifically with respect to annual payments. Is it? If there is annual payment, the rule says that it has to be in the matching concept. It has to be in the match. Revenue may be overstated if it's recognized according to the contract date rather than other relevant accounting period. See, very simple. Okay. See, we are not concerned. We are not talking about anything about the sale of aircraft. They are not purchasing, but they are not selling. If we are selling the aircraft, is it right? If we are selling the aircraft, then the market value will come. Fine. If there is any breach, they are not saying breach of contract. What they are saying that in the wake of the government cut, the police are trying to substantially reduce the amount they pay. It is not that the contract will be put in tender. It is not breach. Breach is what? Breach is in the middle of the contract. They are cancelling it. They are not doing anything on that aspect. Is it right? They are not doing anything on that aspect. They are saying that maybe they will reduce the amount they pay. Furthermore, the directors have told that machine contract will with the police expires in 2004. At the time when, in the wake of government cuts, the police are trying to substantially reduce the amount they pay. It is thought that the contract will be put in tender. Means current contract they are not going to do anything. Is it right? When the contract will expire, then only they will think about renegotiating, or they think about putting it on a tender. Means current contract, it is not going to have any effect as such. So Machine could breach the terms of contract with the customers to pay the penalties. No, the concept of breaching will not come. We are not talking anyway, we are not talking about the expert. The answer is what? The answer is some maybe the revenue will be overstated or revenue will be understated. Is it right? Rather than, see, means you cannot charge revenue at the beginning of the, is it? You can take advance, but the settlement will be, has to be done at the end of the year or month wise we have to take. Otherwise there should be clear terms and conditions. Okay? Is it clear? Given the large amount of refitting of existing aircraft, you are concerned that property, plant and equipment may be overstated in the financial statements. What is the answer? Tell me. We have done this. Property, plant and equipment. Focus on property, plant and equipment.
Third one.
What one?
Obtain
breakdown. That's good. That's really good. Obtained a breakdown of the capitalized cost and agree to the sample of items invoices. Next.
The first one.
Perform a proof of total calculation of the depreciation. Is it right? Why we do this? We are doing this only to make accuracy.
Last option. Respect management.
Review meetings of training is not concerned about it. Is it right? Review meetings of training minutes, review minutes of the training meeting. We are not concerned about this in the financial statement. Perform the total is with respect to what? With respect to accuracy. We are talking in terms of what? We are talking in terms of refitting, concerned that it has been overstated in the financial statement. Is it? These two are not applicable. Is it right? Inspect management review whether the value of the aircraft is impaired. If the value is impaired, what will happen? It start whether it is overstated. It is right. Impaired means what? The value of the aircraft will come down. Is it right? The value of the aircraft is reduced. In that case, whether it is overstated or whether it is understated. Is it right? If that is the, see, you have to see when you are doing the multiple choice question, think about elimination. Okay, first eliminate which is not related. See, is it right? Once you are eliminating, automatically from 4 options, if you are eliminating one also, then what happens? Out of 3 you have to choose 2. Is that out of 3 you have to choose 2? The task will be easy. This is the way, this is the technique where everybody will advise you to do. Okay, everyone will advise to do. Means we don't need anything for training meetings. We are not talking about the depreciation charge in terms of accuracy. We are talking about what? We have to take the breakdown. Whenever we are talking about the non-current assets, is it non-current assets? Get the breakdown of the assets. Is it right? That is the first thing. Second thing, you inspect management review. How management has done about whether the value has been correctly stated or not, because we are talking in terms of financial statements. Is it right? Are you clear about this? Fine. Tell me no. Yeah, at least one should respond to me. Okay, I will wait for your response before going to the next question. In relation to Mason's secured loan, which is the most important audit risk that to be documented in the audit plan? Is it just we will go back and we'll see what is the terms and conditions of the secured loan? Is it right? This is which question? This is question number 53. Is it right? Question number 53. Just we will take where is the loan, where it has been there. Is it right? Now the loan aspect is here. The original, this is it is question number 53. Is it right? The original price of the aircraft was secured loan carrying substantial interest charges. The loan is in the process of being renegotiated and the bank has indicated that the finance cost will increase further. Is it? The finance cost will increase further. Furthermore, still it is not approved. It is in negotiation stages. Furthermore, directors have told that Mason contract with the police force expires in 2004 at the time when the wake of government cuts. The police are trying to substantially reduce the amount they pay. It is thought that the contract will be put out to tender. Is it right? Put out to tender. And it is possible that another aircraft provider may also bid for the contract. If another is bidding for the contract, you are losing the business. Is it right? The client will lose the business. If the client will lose the business, definitely the client will not see at the end of the year, next year, the business will be a question mark. Okay? The big business will be a question mark. If that is the case, understand this. You have to give me answer. Now, what is the right one? Disclosures relating to secured loan may be omitted from the financial statements. First tell me yes or no. Put one question mark there. Next.
No.
Mason going concern status may be at risk if the contract is not renewed. Is it? Mason's going concern status may be at risk if the contract is not renewed. Interest charges may be understated. The bank.
Going concern.
Pardon?
Mason's going concern.
Going concern. Is it? Which are in relation to the, which is the most important. Mason going concern stated at risk. If the contract is not renewed, what is the going concern condition? First and foremost, the going concern assumption is there should be a sufficient assurance that the business can be run for the next 12 months. Is it right? This is what we have done in the last one or two lectures. Is it right? Interest charges may be, they are saying very simple. They are saying, which is the most important one. The bank will rely on the audited financial statements when deciding whether to renew the loan. They will not rely on these things. Is it right? See, these are the most toughest questions. BPP is the most toughest way. Is that if you are examinations, it will be on this level. The questions will be there. Okay. Now, are you clear about this? Mason's going concern. Going concern is the most important audit risk if the contract is not renewed. Is it clear? Next. which two of the following are valid responses to the fact that Mason contract with the police force is due for renewal? Is it right? Question number 54. We will just go through it. Is it right? We'll go this way. Where it has been done. Is it? Now. Furthermore, see question number 54. Here we have to focus. Is it right? Question number 54. For direct have told that Mason expires in the wake of cut. The police is trying to reduce the. It is thought that the contract will be put in order, and another one will have the contract. Is it right? Anything related to that? No. Anything related to that? It will be most no. Is it right? The original secured loan, that is related to loan. Is it right? That is related to loan. That is the second paragraph related to the inventory. Is it right? Fine. Is that second paragraph related to the inventory? What is the answer? Think, read all the options and tell.
Third one.
Which one?
Number 3. Review the short-term and long-term funding.
We are talking in terms of this one, that the Mason contract with the police force is due to renewal.
Second one.
Is it right?
There's second.
Due to renewal. Take your time. Take your time. Nothing will happen.
First and third.
First and third. Why it is first and third? Review Mason contract with other customers. Is it right? They are saying that there are other 3 customers are there. Is it right? They have said somewhere in the beginning. Is it right? They are provide specialist doctor. Mason has 4 of these contracts. Is it? They have how many contracts? 4 of these contracts. Is it? 4 of. See, they have given you very clear indication. Is it right? 4 of these contracts, 1 contract they are losing. Means they have to think about the audit responses. They have to think about the other 3 contracts. Is it right? Review the Mason contracts with other 3 customers, whether they are going to continue or not. Is it right? Other they are going to continue or not, or they are likely to losing other 3 customers also. Is that you have to understand with reason. That's very important. Okay. Review me, because why we are doing, they are having overall how many contracts? They are having overall 4 contracts. Is it right? They are having overall 4 contracts. That is the reason we are talking about which other 3 customers. Whether we are going to have good renew the options to have the renewal for the other 3 contracts. Good. Contact the police directly, nothing will happen. It is, see, we cannot have any vasta there, as simple as that. Okay, we cannot have the any nothing will be there. Is it request confirmation? There is no request will be considered. Is it right that the contract is renewed? There is nothing like that. Review the short term and long term funding facilities, because they are talking in terms of what? They are talking in terms of loan. See, if you get a contract, is it right? Then definitely it will be support your loan. Is it right? Support your loan. Is it? Then it will be in a position to repay the loan. Is it? It is in a reposition to that is a valid response. Is it right? Which of the two are to the fact that Mason contracts with the police force is due for renewal? You have to take into consideration the money is important. Is it right? Money factor is important as such. Consider whether the financial statements contained appropriate disclosures in the relation to the matter. See, here we are talking in terms of loan. Priority is loan. Is it right? Priority is loan. Priority is whether we are getting the customers or not. Is it right? The disclosures will come in the end. Is it right? Disclosures will come in the end, but it will not come in the beginning. Okay? Next. Is it right? You have to tell in relation to the aircraft spares held by Mason, indicate which of the following correctly describes area of audit concern. What they are concerned about what? They are concerned about what? They are concerned about, see the thing. They have given the things. Is right? Owns aircraft. Each aircraft carries specialist equipment. Under the terms of contract, they will charge this. However, there is they are mentioning here very clearly. They are not talking about the new helicopter. They are talking about lot of refitting, replacement. Is it right? Spares. Is it right? They want to think about the maintain the aircraft higher standards. The original purchase price is for this loan. Is it right? Now they are talking in terms of what? They are talking in terms of inventory. Is it right? They are talking in terms of spares, aircraft spares which are not sold, are been scrapped. Is it right? They are talking about the made of special equipment which has been replaced by the normal equipment, advanced equipment. Is it right? Such specialist equipment is transferred from non-current assets to inventory without adjustment. It is audit risk, is it right? And continues to recognize at a amortized cost. Is it right? If you take this one, this is related to question 55. Is it right? While I am writing this, you can have one look. Now, what are the things in relation to the aircraft space held by Mason? Which of the correctly? Yes, non-current assets. It is an audit concern or not audit concern?
Audit concern.
We are talking about the spares. Is that we are talking about the inventory? Is that we are talking about the spares? We are talking about the inventory. Again, I will go back. Is that we are talking about the way? See what they say. What where is that? Yeah, they have. See, they have. I am putting another color here. Is it right? I'll put another. They are talking about how much is that? 2 million of aircraft spares which are included in inventory. Is it right? They are talking about the inventory. They are talking about the inventory without adjustments transferred from non-current assets. See, you are when you do the things, what happens? You are putting pressure on what? You are putting pressure on inventory. Actually, they are concerned about inventory. They are not concerned about new aircraft. They have not purchased any new aircraft. Understand point? They have not purchased any new aircraft. Here it has been mentioned very clearly. They have not purchased any new aircraft during the year. Means non-current assets is not a concern. What is the concern? The concern will be what? The concern will be the non-current assets is not a concern because they have not purchased the aircraft. Is it? They have not. This is not a audit concern. Inventory. They are talking about the space. They are transferring the non-current assets to inventory. Is it right? Automatically, what will happen? How we are going to value the inventory? We are talking about refitting. We are talking about the spares. Is it right? Then, if that is the case, the concern is inventory is audit concern. Is it? Now, completeness.
Not audit concern.
We are not concerned about completeness, is it right? We are not talking about the updations, all those things, is it right? Completeness, we are least concerned about. There's nothing is there with respect to completeness. Completeness is nothing but we have to post it in the financial statements, is that we have to execute the transactions completely, is that we have to show it in the disclosure at the end of the transaction is the completeness, means from starting to the beginning. We are not concerned about completeness, okay? We are not concerned about. Next, accuracy, valuation and allocation.
Audit concern.
Why? Why? Why audit concern? Tell me the reason why it is audit concern.
Maybe because we are talking about assets, so we need to calculate depreciation.
And good. We are talking about the assets. So you support that argument with something else. Continue the argument, same argument.
Because it is inventory, and the inventory can be caused with the valuation.
Yes, good.
So if the value of the inventory is wrong, it will affect the audit and also the classification or the allocation of the inventory when it is capitalized or revenue.
That I am expecting that thing. Capitalization. Is it right? Non-current assets should be capitalized. Inventory is a operate revenue expenses. Is it right? Inventory is a revenue. Purchases, cost of goods sold, it comes. Non-current assets. Is it right? The classification should be there in terms of capitalization and non-capitalization. This is what you should split of second. It should work for you. Okay? That is the reason. I will give you time to understand and respond. Accuracy, valuation and allocation. Is that what you are doing? You are converting non-current assets to inventory. Everything will go upside down. Everything. Is it right? You are talking in terms of what? You are talking in terms of capital cost. Is that you are talking about capitalization? You are talking in terms of depreciation. Is it right? You are talking in terms of depreciation. You are talking about IAS 16. You are talking in terms of IAS 2. Is it right? It is an audit concern. Is it right? It is an audit concern. You cannot wrongly allocate. You cannot buy, valuation will be different, is it? IS 30, IS 16 talks about what? IS 16 talks about the depreciation. IS 2 talks about what? Lower cost or net realizable value. Is it? Totally different. Automatically valuation accuracy will affect, valuation will affect, and allocation will also affect. Are you clear about this?
Yes, clear.
Next, good. Is that next one? Fine. You are a audit manager of reverse. See, these are the, again I'm saying, these are the multiple choice questions. Takes time. Okay, takes time. And another thing I will tell you very simple. The first idea which will come, stick to that idea. Okay, first idea, first thing that will click. Don't change answers. Is it? Don't change your answer. That people will do that. Is it? Before you wind up the thing, that you'll say that no, this is not this. No. Once first answer will be always majority, it will be a right answer. Whoever it is. Fine. You are an audit manager of reverse. Your firm has been invited to tender for the audit of CN. Fine. Your firm does not have any other listed clients, and Severin company will represent the biggest client of your firm if your tender is successful. Okay? Now, a member of the audit committee inform your audit engagement partner that the current auditors are not being invited to stand for re-election as a audit committee. Felt that the relationship between the firm and the company has begun to lose objectivity due to over familiarity. A member of the audit committee of Seven company inform your audit engagement partner that the current auditors are not being invited to stand for re-election, as the audit committee felt that the relationship between the firm and the company had to begin to lose objectivity, the purpose, what we have to, for what we are due to what? Definitely over familiarity. Why we need all this? You have reviewed past financial statements and have noted that the company applies IFRS and that the audit committee reports its responsibility with regard to the internal control annually. The director confirmed that the board would be happy to confirm their responsibilities in writing, as they are aware of the relevant audit requirements. The audit engagement partner has asked you to prepare some information ready for the tender. Identify by clicking on the relevant box in the table if the following items should be included or excluded the tender for the audit company. Fine. What we have to include, what we have to exclude. Is it right? Now, you tell me. The proposed fee for the initial audit of Seven company. We have to include or we have to exclude fee?
I think include.
No thinking. One. Now it's not a thinking. You say include or exclude.
Okay, include.
Good. We have to include fee. Okay, we have to include fee. Next. A description of reverse including the curriculum vitae of key staff likely to be assigned to the client. Tell me, Maita. Fatma. Think, you have to be very clear. The internal audit, the internal auditors, and the statutory auditors. Is it the internal auditors and the statutory auditors? Internal auditors, no qualification. Is it right? Statutory auditors, qualified people. Now you tell me. Which one? We have to include or we have to exclude?
Exclude.
Include.
The audit engagement partner. Is it right? Audit means it is not internal auditors, it is statutory auditors. It is not. Statutory auditors should be qualified. Internal auditors, they are not, there is no precondition of qualification. When a description is going to make, we have to give the key staff whether they are qualified or not. Is that? We have to say that yes, this person is ACCA qualified. This person is CA qualified. Is it? We have to give the qualification to, because we are what, to whom we are addressing. We are not talking about the, if internal auditors, not required. Okay, if it internal auditors, it is not required. If it is a statutory auditors, we have to include. We have to give the profile of the people, profile of the company. Is it right? Profile. We have say that they are talking about the audit engagement partner. Engagement partner means it is the key responsibility position. Fine. We have to include it. Next, overall level of materiality to be used in the audit. We have to include or we have to exclude? We are talking about what? We are talking about the tender.
Exclude.
Why? Good. I agree with you. Why? Reason, tell me.
Maybe the materiality we are included when we are doing the audit plan.
Exactly. Exactly. Materiality will come in audit plan. Materiality will not come in tender. Is it right? Alhamdulillah, it's really, I am very happy. Very happy. Everybody has to respond. Is it right? Materiality will come in audit plan. It will not come in the tender. Tender is, we are talking about the fee, we are talking about the people who are going to be assigned, is it? But not the materiality. Why we are going to exclude it? Because it has to be included in, audit plan. Good. A summary of potential other services Rivers could provide to Seven Company.
We can include this one.
Why? Why? Good. I agree with you. I agree with you. Include.
Because in the tender documentation, we have to specify what other services can be
exactly
provided to others.
Exactly. Is it right? We have to provide, we have to include summary of potential other services. We have to support it, that what are the other services we are providing. Okay. What is the fee limit? I'm asking something extra,
Not
not in
more
here.
than 15%.
15%.
15%.
It should not exceed 15% for 2 consecutive years. Is it? It should not exceed the 2 consecutive years. Okay. Next. Good, fine, Alhamdulillah. That's really good. You have identified number of issues which should be considered prior to tendering of it for a new client. Given what you have already know to say, which two of these are most important? See here, we will get trapped. Okay, most means we have to put the hierarchy. Fine, we have to put the most important to consider for the period to tendering of the audit. Next, what we have to do? Which one has which when before you give a tender, what you will see about the audit firm?
Whether it is independent or non-independent.
Good.
Independency.
That's next.
Maybe the second one.
Precondition.
Pardon?
The second one. Resources. Maybe.
Whenever you go for the audit, you have to know that whether we have resources to conduct the audit of the potential client. Is it? We have, that is one of the conditions. Just review the engagement. Is it right? Lecture 3, I think so. Is it lecture 2 or lecture 3? Engagement. Is it right? Whenever we take up the issue, we have to know that we should have appropriate resources. Is it? Most means the priority wise. Okay. The preconditions of audit will be met. Is that the preconditions of the audit is a general question. The outgoing auditors will give reverse access to working papers. Is it? That is not the issue at all. Is it right? This is not related to the issue at all. Is it right? Is it? When we are talking about the working papers is on year to year basis. Is it? Year to year basis. Fine. Working papers are the year to year basis. As simple as that. Next, we are preconditions of the audit will, unless until preconditions of audit will not be met, the process will not be started. Okay. The answer is 1 and 2. Next, your firm has tendered the audit engagement has been successful. You have been asked to follow through the acceptance procedure of the firm for the firm. Is it right? Now, you are apprising. Is it? You are apprising whether it is appropriate the firm to accept the engagement. Which of the following issues arising would cause audit to decline the engagement? The engagement letter not being received, reverse losing a major client meaning audit fee will represent 20%, a reply from the outgoing auditor stating that they declined to seek reappointment to the audit due to disagreement over accounting policies, a request from Sivan that the audit be carried out in March when reverse already works at maximum capacity. Why we want to decline? Tell me.
Second one, wrong answer.
Okay, that's good. Fine.
Also, first one wrong.
Good.
Then I don't know.
Hmm?
Third option, a reply from the outgoing.
Whenever as a new auditor, you have to get the confirmation from the outgoing auditor, previous auditor, that things are really good. I am leaving it. You can accept this assignment. Is that this we have discussed so many times? Okay, previous auditor you have to you have, as a new auditor, you have the right to get the confirmation from the outgoing auditor. What he says, a reply from the outgoing auditor stating that they decline to seek reappointment. They don't want to reappointment in the audit option. Due to what? There is a disagreement with the accounting policies. The client is not following accounting policies. They have declined the assignment. Now, they have declined the assignment. How a new auditor will accept? Is it? New auditor will accept. New auditor will also not accept it. That is the reason, that is the issue arising would cause Rivers and Company to decline the engagement. A request from 7 companies that the audit can be carried out in March. That is not the case, which Rivers have already worked at max. That is not the case. We have never discussed this point anywhere. Is that here? That the thing is, the new auditor has to get confirmation. Is it right? Confirmation from the outgoing auditor. Very important. They will ask this type of questions. You do it, 30 marks. It's really, you can score it very easily. Now, you are drafting an engagement letter in respect of 7 company and aware that ISA 210 of audit engagements requires certain issues related to be included. Is it to be included? Now, which one should be included, which should not be included? Okay. Scope of the audit, we have to include or not include?
Include.
Good. Responsibilities of management of 7 company?
Include.
Good. Timetable for the provision of accounting information?
Not include.
Not include. Fees and billing arrangements?
Include.
Not include.
Fees and arrangements. Arrangement. They are not talking about a fee fixation. Arrangements, billing arrangements. That is not part of the engagement letter. Okay? That is not part of the. What is the part of the engagement letter? Very important. One is scope, one is responsibilities. Okay? Now, tell me, before accepting the audit of sale, reverse should what you have to do? What is the first and what is the second one? First, obtain references concerning directors, submit the letter of engagement, appoint a quality control reviewer. Which of one of these? Obtain, submit, or appoint?
Submit the letter.
Submit the letter of
Engagement.
before, it's not after. Before accepting the audit of 7 company, reverse, yes, should what?
Obtain reference.
You should obtain the references. Is it right? You have to obtain before. Once before we accept, we will not submit. Okay, before we accepting, we should get complete information about the company, firm, entity, everything. Is it right? You have to obtain the references concerning the directors. Okay, we are not talking about appoint quality control reviewer, all those things. Once the audit has been accepted, after, then reverse company should begin to
submit the letter.
Good. Once you have accepted, then you have to see. We are not going to obtain references. We are not determining material levels, all those things. Is it right? We have to submit the letter of engagement. I have sent that mock exam with answers. You started doing that?
Still not yet.
This week now, just focus on this. Inshallah it will be. See, we have put so much effort. Alhamdulillah, we have done. It is the last phase. Is it last phase? You have to keep that momentum. Inshallah. Next, first we will read what they are asking. Okay, actually, if you ask me, if you see all the previous question papers, this is for how many marks? 10 marks. If you right, these are all old question paper questions. Is it right? All they have divided it into the scenario based. That's all. Is it right? That is for 10 marks. Now they have distributed into 5 different options of 2 marks each. You are the audit manager of NAB, a large audit firm which specializes in the audit of the retailers. The firm currently audits Goofy, a food relator, but Goofy main competitor Mickey has approached the audit firm to act as the auditors. Fine. Is that see the thing? Is it right? This is NAB. Is it right? NAB is the audit firm. Is that NAB is the audit firm as such. Now NAB is doing audit for whom? NAD is doing audit for Goofy. Okay. Now there is a competitor. Is it right? Who is the competitor? Mickey is the competitor. Both Goofy and Mickey are listed companies. Goofy is concerned that if NAB audit both the companies, the confidential information could pass to Mickey. The audit engagement partner for Goofy has been in place for approximately 6 years. Now another issue. Is it right? Emma has accepted a job from Goofy as a warehouse manager. There is no condition that you should not work. You can work, but there should not be any self-interest. Understand point? That's very important. Emma employment contract said that if a bonus is to be paid, it will be awarded as shares in Goofy rather than cash. Goofy is offering 5% bonus. Goofy is offering NAB company 5% bonus on top of the audit fee if this year is audit completed in 3 years. I think we have covered this question somewhere. This is to reduce the demands of finance director's time as he is busy with working others. This is basically a ethical issues. Fine. Now you are more expert than me. Okay, my knowledge is less, your knowledge is more. Initially, when we start, I have more knowledge. Now you are preparing, your knowledge is more. The ACCA Code of Ethics and Conduct require that an external auditor implement appropriate safeguards to ensure that conflict of interest is properly managed. Good. That is the condition. Which two of the following actions should NAB company should take regarding the confidential issue? Tell me please.
First one.
Inform the audit committees of both Goofy and Mickey for a potential conflict of interest and obtain their consent to act the both the parties. Okay, fine. Is it? Next. Second one.
Second option.
Use separate audit teams for each audit with a common independent review partner to determine confidentiality is maintained. Okay, fine. What about third one? Draw up confidentiality agreement to be signed by the board of directors. Prevent unauthorized physical access to the information.
Second and third one.
Second and
Third one. Draw up confidentiality agreements.
draw up from the confident by the see, it is not by the client, is it right? Client will not do anything. Who will draw up the confidentiality agreement? It will be done by the auditor, not by the client. Is that no auditor, not by the client?
First one.
First one. Inform the audit committees of both Goofy and potential conflict of interest and obtain their consent to audit the board. Good. Next. Next. Which one? Second or fourth?
Mr. You choose.
Examination also okay? You keep. Tell me which one. We have done this.
Okay.
We have done this. If it is done, is it right? If a auditor is involved, the rule says that there should be an independent review. Is it right? If you have done it, fine, there is no problem on that. But you refer the notes. In the notes, it has been done very clearly. If it has been done by one auditor, two companies, the audit work should be reviewed by a independent reviewer. Is it? By a independent. You separate audit teams. Remember, I have told you this. Is that we have told you this, and remember this Chinese wall. Is it right? You have a China. There is a wall of. It came from where? Wall of China. Is it right? You have that wall of China. Seven wonders of the world. It came from there. Wall of means the wall is so big and so lengthy that the people, if you want to, you cannot have access on the other side. We cannot have an access of the other side. You have, see, when two people, when one single auditor is doing the job for two different competitors, for the competitors, you assign the independent teams. You make them that they should not going to share any confidential information, and whatever they are doing, that work has to be reviewed by a independent reviewer. Okay? Is it clear?
Okay, Mr. Why it is not the fourth one?
Prevent unauthorized physical access to the information relating to both the companies. Prevent unauthorized physical access. If you take prevent unauthorized physical access and use separate teams is more authentic, more severe, is it right? So use separate teams for each information, for each audit, with a common independent review partner to determine whether confidentiality has been maintained. Here what's happening when you are doing this, see the thing. Why we have to prevent unauthorized physical access to the information. This is only a one level of control. Is it? This is only a one level, is it right? But if you take the things, here you see the things. What happening? You are using two levels. First, you are using separate team for each audit. Is it right? And with a independent review partner. With an independent review partner. Separate audit teams. Use prevent unauthorized physical access to the information related to both. That see, it is fine, but okay. You review this now in the lecture notes. Is it? Review this. I will also review. We will review this in the lecture notes, and we'll see which one is the most appropriate one. Question number 61. Okay. I'm writing down, and I will reply to the message. Okay. I reply by message. Question number 61. Okay. Can I go to the next one?
Yes, you can.
From a review of the information above, your audit assistant has highlighted some potential risks to independence in respect of the audit of Goofy. Indicate the appropriate category to which each of the threat of independence should be allocated. Audit engagement partner has been in the position for 6 years. Self-interest is with respect to financial matters. Is it self-interest with respect to finance? If it is for more than 6 years, it is familiarity or self-interest?
Familiarity.
Audit engagement partner daughters work for Goofy.
Familiarity.
Which one? Familiarity or self-interest?
Familiarity.
It is not, there is nothing related to self-interest means financial matters. Okay, self-interest means financial matters, no other option. Audit engagement partner's daughter bonus would be in the form of shares.
Self-interest.
5% bonus offered.
Self-interest.
Okay, next. NAB has decided that it would like to accept nominations of McKee auditors, and McKee existing auditors has agreed to resign rather than removed from office. The audit manager in charge of the tender has set out the procedures that the firm must undertake before McKee can be approved as an audit client. Fine. Ensure that the existing auditor resign has been properly conducted. Communicate with the existing auditor. Submit the engagement letter. Perform client screening procedures including assessment of McKee risk profile. Drag each of the 4 options below to the right hand side to show the correct order which the appropriate procedure should be undertaken. Which one should be first? First is which one? Before you accept.
Communicate with McKee's.
Huh?
Communicate with its existing auditors.
Communicate of existing. Good. Next.
Submit the engagement is the last one.
Alhamdulillah. That's good. Now you are learning the tricks of answering the questions. This is the techniques. Okay. Next.
Ensure that existing auditors resign.
Perform. Okay. Perform client, maybe 2.
Ensure the existing auditors resignation has been properly conducted. Perform. See, first you communicate with the existing auditors. Then we have done what we have done. We have inquired with about the director's profile. Is it right? We will talk about director's profile just now, a few questions back. Is it right? First we communicate with the existing auditors. Then we will get the profile of the directors. Then we'll say that yes, the existing auditors resignation. Is it right? Then we will submit. Is it right? First what we will do? We will communicate. Is it right? We will communicate. The second what we will do? We will perform. Is that we will perform the screening. Is it right? We perform the screening. then we will say that we will ensure that others, the previous auditors has resigned. Is it right? We ensured. Then once they have ensured, then we will submit the acceptance. Is it right? This is the procedure for the engagement letter. Is it right? This is the procedure for engagement letter. Next. NAB can accept appointment as McKinsey auditors. It must determine whether the preconditions for an audit are met and obtains a management agreement that it acknowledges and understands its responsibilities. Okay. Which of the following is not included in the agreement obtained by the auditor? What we are talking about? We are talking in terms of what? We are talking about the preconditions. Okay, we are talking about the preconditions of what? Whether the preconditions for an audit are met and obtain management agreement that it acknowledges, understands itself. Which of the following is not included in the agreement? Is it right? Now, management responsibility for preparing of financial statements. We have to include or we are not to include?
Include.
We have to
Include.
include. Management responsible for internal control to enable preparation of financial control. It is management responsibility for internal control?
Yes.
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 Management responsible to provide the auditor with all the information relating to preparation of financial statements. It is manager responsibility?
Yes.
Good. Management responsible to prevent fraud and detect fraud.
No. External auditor معها.
This is management responsibility. But it should not be in the agreement. Is it right? It is manager responsibility, but it should not be in agreement. In the agreement, we have to be very clear that we are preparing financial framework. If you put the things into order, we have to say that we are how many times we have covered this as per the financial framework. We have to prepare as per the local law. We have to prepare as per IAS. We are talking about IFRS, and we are doing the audit as per ISA. In the agreement, we have to include all our responsibilities. There is no doubt on that. Okay, that is the way we are getting confused. All our responsibilities, but the responsibilities which has to be included is preparation of financial statements, preparation of financial statements which are free from material misstatements, preparation of financial statements to all the available information should be included, it should be provided. But here also it is management responsibilities to prevent and detect fraud, but it should not be included in the agreement. Is it okay? Tell me. Indicate which of the following are true regarding the regulation of audit profession. The auditor has the right of access to the books, records and vouchers of the company.
True.
Fine. Next. The auditor has the right to be heard at AGMs on matter of relating to the audit.
True.
Next. The auditor is appointed by and answerable to those charged with governance of the company.
through shareholders.
False.
It is
False.
not to the governance. It is to whom? It is to the
Shareholders.
shareholders. An auditor can be removed by simple oral resolution.
False. It must be written.
Fine? Good. You are an audit senior of use company and your firm is an external auditor for CALC. Have you got the study leave? Yes or no?
What, mister?
Have you applied for leave or no? In your office,
For
you applied for leave or no?
Sunday and Monday only.
Sunday and Monday only. Good, okay. Fine. You are an audit senior of use and your firm is an external auditor of CALC, a large private contract runs sports venues of UK. CALC has a year end of 31st December. You are currently planning an interim audit for 6 months ended. This year you have another audit senior who recently joined working with you. James did not work as any interim audit with the previous audit firm and your audit manager asked him to train him to use different approaches used in audit. James had drawn following audit procedures: update documentation which has been prepared by prior audit, obtain third party confirmations of receivables, payables and cash, review the director's assessment of is a going concern, consider whether assumptions made by the directors are reasonable, to prepare the going concern procedure, perform preliminary analytical procedures in order to identify major business or unexpected trends. In 2004, CALC established an internal audit department. The board is still planning the exact responsibility of internal audit will have, but is likely that among the things they will be involved in monitoring internal controls. Okay, fine. It is a policy that audit files for interim and final audit are assembled within 60 days of the date when the audit report has been sent. The files are then logged and cannot be amended after this date, but it is sometimes deemed necessary for minor procedures to be added to the files. You cannot avoid, you can do, but you have to inform. Is it right? Modifications. We are talking about the modifications, modified reports, all these things. After the audit report is issued, the files are then retained for 3 years, which time they are disposed of securely. Is it right? Now, fine. When we need, we will go to the scenario again. Okay, we go to the scenario again. The best way of revising you make it short. Multiple choice questions. The best way you will see here how many topics you are covering. You can imagine we are covering the audit procedure, interim audit. We are talking in terms of what? We are talking about analytical procedures. We are going about going concern, third party confirmation. Is that we are covering in one scenario? We are covering 50% of the syllabus. Understand my point? Just imagine 50% internal controls. Is that they will be involved in monitoring the internal controls. Is that if you find, listen carefully, if you find any question difficult, is it right? Keep it in the end. Okay, don't leave it. Read the scenarios of some other questions, especially MCQs. You take the scenarios of the MCQs, you will get some inputs. You can build up the answer. Okay, because Three MCQs, three scenarios of the MCQ will give you a good understanding about all the points. Okay. What they say, indicate whether the procedures identified by James will be conducted during interim audit or the final audit. Now, 1 minute, I will go back. What is the James have doing the thing? Update documentation relating to accounting system which has been prepared to prior year results, interim audit or final audit. Obtain third party confirmation receivables, again interim or final. Review the assessments of directors as a going concern. Answer is very easy. Understand my point? Very easy. We have done a very comprehensive job. Perform preliminary analytical procedures in order to, we have to identify which one is part of internal interim audit and which one is part of final audit. Now you have to tell. Update documentation related to Chelsea accounting systems which are paid to prior year audits. Where we have to show?
Enter.
Enter.
Interim audit. Good. Obtain third party confirmation.
Final.
Final.
Review director's assessment.
Final.
Final.
Good. Perform preliminary and analytical procedures.
Enter.
Interim audit. Is it interim? Now, during the interim audit, you perform internal controls. Testing and results of this indicate that to date the control environment is strong and internal controls are operating effectively. James have asked to explain the factors that will determine the extent of further work on internal audit need to be performed at the final audit. Which of the following be taken into account when determine the extent of additional work needed at the final audit? Now, which one we have to take? Is it right? They have done interim audit, now they are doing the final audit. The significance of the assessed risk of material misstatements at the assertion level. The specific controls that were tested during interim audit and significant changes to them since they are tested, including changes in the information system, process and personnel. The length of the remaining period. Think and tell.
Mister.
Huh.
This question is related to the final audit.
One and two.
Additional work. Yes, this is related to at the final audit.
Mr. The answer 1 and 2.
The answer, the significance of the assessed risk of material misstatement as the significance of assessed risk. Any additional risk is there, material misstatement, it has to be carried out in the final audit. Again, 1. The specific controls that were tested during interim audit, they have made changes, is it? Since they have tested, is it? Again, what you have to do? Again, the moment they have made the changes, you have to do again in the final audit. Next. We have to take this one or not?
No,
Why?
Yes, yes, we have.
because once we finish the assessing the significant risk or any change in the controls, so that the audit has been done.
Once you have done internal interim audit, okay, see what is the gap, okay, maybe you have done in the month of March, maybe you have done in the month of June. From June to December, you will not keep quiet. Is it right? The length of the remaining period is very, very important. Refer the notes. Refer the notes. In the notes, there is one point is there, that the length of the remaining period, if it should not be too big. Is it? See, what is the interim audit? Interim audit is almost continuous. Is it right? It will be done before the final audit. Now, you cannot say that interim audit is done in the month of January. Usually, it is there in the slides. It will be done somewhere after June, July, August, and interim audit will be done maximum till September, October. Is it right? So that the gap should be less. The gaps between the interim audit and the final audit should not be more. Is it? The significance of assessed risk, the specific controls to be tested, any changes, again we have to do, and most importantly, the length of the remaining period. Is it right? The answer is 1, 2, and 3. Are you clear about this? Any doubt, you question me. That's very important. You ask me. They have asked here now. If they have asked, I will. We can discuss. Is it? This is the place where we can question us. Is it okay?
Yes, clear.
Which of the following considerations is the most important when deciding whether or not rely on the work performed by the internal audit department? Next, whether any member of Chelsea Internal Audit Department hold a professional qualification. There is no qualification for internal auditor. Okay, there is no requirement for the internal. Whether the work performed by the internal auditor is to specific assertions over which UYE is concerned. Whether a separate audit committee exists. Whether Chelsea Internal Audit has a work plan, will schedule the work, and they should perform to the end of the year. Which one? Which of the following is the most important when deciding whether or not rely on the work performed by internal audit?
Third one is wrong.
Which one?
Third one, wrong answer.
Okay.
And first one also wrong.
Good.
So the second one maybe is correct.
What about fourth?
50-50. Second one.
See, whether Chelsea Internal Audit Department has a work plan which schedules the work they should perform to the end of the year. Will not take internal audit till the end of the year. Fine. whether the work performed by the internal audit departments related to specific audit assertions, isn't it? Over which you has concerns. You have a concern, is it right? You have identified audit risk. Is it right? You have identified audit risk. This audit risk, what you will do? You will say that whether the internal auditor has done this or not. Is it right? The internal, then only whether deciding whether or not to rely on the work performed by internal. You have some concerns, is it right? When you have the concerns, immediately you will see whether the internal audit has done that job. If the internal audit has done the job with evidence, all those things, definitely you will rely on them. Otherwise, if they have not done, we are not going to rely on that one. Answer is okay. Next. Chelsea internal audit team is likely to be involved in monitoring internal controls relating to online ticket systems. You may use the internal audit to provide direct assistance to the audit of the system. Indicate which of the statements are true if direct assistance is used. Okay? Chelsea internal auditors would perform audit procedures under the direction, supervision, and review of audit team.
True.
Chelsea internal auditors would perform audit procedures under the direction, supervision, and review of what? Audit team. Exactly. Is that there will be a close coordination. Coordination is very important between the internal auditor and the external auditor. Internal auditor, what internal auditor is doing, the external auditor will rely on the work of internal auditor. If external auditor finds something related to internal audit, definitely they will make corrections. Okay? Should only use direct assistance if the risk of material misstatement in relation to the online ticket sale system is high.
False.
There is no condition that should only use, whether it is high or low. It is right, it is high or low. Is it right? It is high or low. We have to take assistance. Is it right? We have to use assistance. Is it right? There is no condition attached. Understand point? There is no condition attached. Next. Use audit team should document its review of the work performed by the internal auditors.
Maybe true.
Audit team should document its review work 100%. 100%. Is it right? Performed by the internal auditor. You have to document. There is no, see, what are the different methods of documentation? Tell me. Fast. What are the different methods of documentation? It is there. Revise this. Revise this before you close for the day. Is it? You have to document it. Is it clear or not? Yes or no? No silence. You have to speak. Where are you people? Is it clear? Yes, Maida, Faiza and Fatma.
Last one false.
Last one, false. Why it is false? Chelsea internal orders will be separately liable, not separately liable for any material misstatement in the work they have performed. They are not separately liable. Is it right? They are jointly liable. It is a false. Fine. Which of the following policies regarding the assembly and retention of audit files? What is the audit files? What they are saying about audit files? It is the policy of year that the audit files for both interim or are assembled within 60 days of the audit. When the audit report was signed, the audit files are then logged and cannot be amended after this date, but it is sometimes deemed necessary for further minor procedures to be added to the files and the audit report is issued. It is related to lecture 11. Okay, it is related to lecture 11. The files are then retained for how many years? The files are retained for, it is not for 3 years. It is for how many years? It is for 5 years. Is it right? It is not for 3 years. Is it right? It is when they say it is both interim audit and some final audit within the 60 days of the audit. Fine. Is it right? The files are then logged. We cannot log the files. Is it right? We cannot log. Is it right? It is accessible, okay, and cannot be amended. But sometimes deemed necessary to further minor procedures to be added to the files in the audit report. Is it right? It is not acceptable. Is it? See what it says. It is means if any administration is happen, fine. Is it right? See what happens. See the things. If it is a conditions is there here. If any administration, fine. Is it right? In any if any audit, is it definitely the procedures should be followed. Is it? the procedure should be followed. See the things. I've given you all the answers for that. Is it right? Deemed necessary. Once you cannot lock it. Is it right? 5 years. Is it right? 5 years. And if there is, first it is not acceptable. If there is administration, yes. Is it? If there is any administration, yes. But if it is any audit, procedures has to be followed. Now you tell me the answer. I explained you the concept. Is it right? Policy of assembling files within 30 days of the audit report is stricter than what is required for the ISA.
False.
Is it? There is nothing as stricter. Is it? It is one of the it is not. Nobody has stated that it has to be done. Okay. Nobody has tell that it has to be done. Is it? As per IAS 230. Is it right? As per ISA 230, audit documentation. Is it? As per IAS 30, audit requires that we can file within 60 days of the audit report. Is that policy is lined with this? There is no stricter. We cannot say it is stricter. Is it right? Make it a point like this. You can make it one. Okay. Next, it is incompatible with ISA for even minor further procedures to be added to the audit files after the 60-day period. It is incompatible. No, you can do it, but you have to follow procedures. There's no we can change. We have the option to make changes. Is it right? You have to intimate it. You have to disclose it. Is it right? You have to intimate it. You have to disclose it. If it is any material thing, it has to be taken into consideration. Fine. So there is no. It is incompatible with IS for even minor further procedures to be added. It is incompatible with ISS. It is incompatible with ISS for even minor further procedures to be added to the audit files Yes, it is incompatible with ISAs for even to be added to the audit files.
True.
Once audit report is signed and issued, there is no changes. Is it? Once audit report is signed and issued, even minor changes is done. Okay? Answer is true. It is acceptable to make administration changes to the audit file after 60 days. So it is not strictly necessary to lock the files. Is it right? It is not necessary to log the files as such. Is it right? It is acceptable to make administration changes. It's fine. Is it right? Functional changes, no. It is, and so it is not strictly necessary to lock. We cannot lock the files. Is it right? To lock the files to comply with us. There is no. We never discuss anything with respect to locking the files. Okay. we can do administrative changes, but not functional changes. It is acceptable for files to be disposed of after how many years? Not 3 years, after 5 years. The answer is true or false? The answer is
False.
it is not 3 years. It is how many years? 5 years. Fine. How many we have done? Now, is it right? Now, when we are going tomorrow, tomorrow, I told you, whether it is your request, it will be done. Is it right? Your request, it will be done. From some randomly, okay? Start from randomly anywhere, okay? We'll start from somewhere, we will start, okay? I'm sending you this file now. Is that? All are multiple choice questions, okay? Tomorrow somewhere we'll start randomly and again we are going to do it, inshallah, okay? Wednesday, I will post the message on the group. If it is there, Wednesday we will have class from 9:30 to around we will have from 9:30 to quite some time, okay? In between I will give break. We will have break. You keep from 9:30 to 1 o'clock dedicated to this. Is that dedicated to this? Any request is there or anything to be revised?